Okay, so today we are going to talk about 5 things to help you all distress at home. And that's de-stress, not stress. This is going to be fun. Yay. Okay, welcome to our first webinar about how to keep your immune system strong in the midst of a world of stress. And there's obviously a lot going on right now with COVID, and there's a lot of worry, and there's a lot of concern and fears. And those definitely don't help with any of your stress responses and your immune system. So oftentimes, stress is like a wet blanket to your immune system. And especially now, we really need to be really cognizant of keeping our immune system strong, so that if we do catch anything, we would be able to fight it off, and minimize our symptoms and not be a extra burden to our already overburdened healthcare system. And Dr. Fung and Dr. Fung, that's myself, hello, and Dr. Jainuddin, um, we're going to talk about several things that we think will be helpful for you as our local clinic patients, and whoever is joining us for this webinar today. So we also wanted to say that, now with the stay-at-home order for California, we are doing a lot of things differently and virtually, and this is a really good time to experiment with a lot of different things and healthful things, and to also take a pause and work on self-care and do all the work on healthy things and things that you can control in the midst of this chaos. So, all right. Anything you want to add, Dr. J?
Good morning, everyone. Yes, this is Dr. Jainuddin, and I'm sitting here with lovely Dr. Fung. Thank you for doing this. I think it's going to be great for our community. Just some reminders. I'm sure a lot of it are things that you guys know, but sometimes just hearing it again and being reminded, and maybe there's some new things that you can incorporate into your daily routine. I think it's really important in a time where we feel like we don't have control. There are a lot of unknowns, to kind of settle in and realize there are a lot of things that we do have control over in our own lives, and our health is part of that. We can do a lot of things to help strengthen our immune system. So hopefully all of these things will be informative for you and things that you can possibly incorporate into your day.
And the best thing about it is you're doing all of these are all things that you can do from home. So. Yeah. And then we're also going to include a resource list for all of our patients, and through our email newsletter, and we'll talk about that at the end on how you can join that to get all of the resource list and great recipes and local resources and all of that. So stay tuned. All right, the first thing I wanted to talk about that is super, super important, and I think one of the foundations for our health in general is gut health. So a healthy gut equals a very healthy immune system. In your digestive system, there is something called the GALT, G-A-L-T, which stands for gut-associated lymphoid tissue. And what that tissue does is it makes up about 70% of our entire immune system. And it is super important as our first line of defense against any pathogens and nasty bugs and things like that. So making sure that your digestive system is primed and healthy and is incredibly important. And we're going to talk about things on how to make sure that your gut is working really well through this time. So the first thing that is super, super important is to eat real food. And what do we mean by eating real food? So eating real food is eating like all the fresh greens, and you're holding up like an apple and you're like, okay, this is an apple. It has one ingredient, it doesn't have 20 ingredients. So staying away from the processed foods, the boxed foods, the aisle foods, versus like eating all the greens and veggies and fruits and around the grocery store perimeter. Probably all the stuff that's left over right now. um, and making sure that you have all of those things on board is going to be really important. And again, a great time right now for you to experiment with for some people, cooking in general, and other people improving their cooking skills. So we're all in the same boat. Fortunately, Dr. Jainuddin is a good cook. Maybe.
I have some select items that I can put together really well. So this is definitely the time for me to broaden my skills as well.
Fantastic. I personally don't like cooking that much, but I can cook. But fortunately, my partner cooks really well, and so I can just depend on him. And it's his stress relief anyway. So it's great for him to be able to use his creativity that way through his food. And it's great for me because all I have to do is eat it. So
too bad we're not in a time when you can actually invite me over, because
I know, right? One day, when this is done, sometime soon, we will have all the dinner parties in the world, right? So, what types of foods are the best foods for you? So yeah, we said eat real food, but there are certain foods that are less inflammatory and more health promoting than others. So which foods do you really want to avoid? And those would be the the inflammatory foods, such as number one, sugar. Number two, alcohol. All the things that I think a lot of people, when we're stressed, we'll talk a little bit about this too when we talk about mindful eating, but a lot of us can easily fall into like unhealthy ingrained habits when we are stressed. So now is a really good time to help to change those habits and develop new, healthier habits. And a couple things to really focus on when there's going to be a lot of information here. So if anything, just focus on reducing the amount of sugar and alcohol intake. Because for one thing, sugar is actually very detrimental to your immune system. Just 1 teaspoon of sugar can slow down and impair your immune system response to like any bacterial or virus invasion for up to 5 hours. And that doesn't seem like a lot of sugar because it's not. So just think about that for a little bit. And then also overconsumption of alcohol, which means over 1 glass or mixed drink a day, which also doesn't seem like a lot, impairs your immune function, especially your immune function relating to your lung health. So that's going, and especially with COVID-19, the first thing that it attacks is your lungs. So, and we're talking about like acute respiratory distress symptoms. Those are what people are dying from right now. Okay. So you really want to keep your lungs healthy. You really want to reduce inflammation overall, and also make sure that your immune system is primed. So what two things to avoid or minimize right now? Sugar and alcohol. So this comes to mindful eating. You want to take this one?
Sure. So mindful eating is pretty simple in theory, but seems like it can be very hard in practice because, again, we tend to fall back to our habits, eating in front of the TV, eating while we're doing something else, multitasking. The mindful eating is really about sitting down with the meal, with the food, with the abundance, the nutrients that you've prepared for yourself, and just taking out the distractions, shutting the cell phone off, putting it away, just really enjoying what you have to provide to your body at that moment. Chewing with intention, chewing completely. I know when you're eating fast or distracted, you eat a lot more, you don't chew as well. There are a lot of things that we're not doing to optimize what we're consuming. So really be part of the meal and be grateful for it, because gratitude and positive thoughts also influence how we process what we put in our body. So think about that as well.
Absolutely. And just a couple other things that we wanted to emphasize in our good food list is using fresh and or dried herbs liberally in your food. So oregano, basil, even peppers, and what else do I use a lot? Garlic and onions and all of those flavors. Not only do they make your food taste good, but they also have these plants have great like health protective antimicrobial properties that you could be putting in your body every single day. So it's just another way that food is medicine. And I'm really fortunate to have a awesome basil bush in my backyard, and I've been enjoying that quite a lot. Recently, we made a bunch of pesto, and we also my husband likes to experiment with food again, and he put a bunch of basil in my green smoothie in the morning. That was a little odd. And I was like, what is this? Why does it taste like basil? Oh, I just wanted to try it. Oh, okay. So I had a basil smoothie for breakfast one day. I was like, can we not do that again? So another thing that we've been making now that we have the time is bone broth, or like chicken soup and things like that. Clearing out our freezer, we always like collect the bones from when we get like a whole chicken or something like that. So we had some chicken bones and duck bones. So we made this fabulous bone broth from it. And I have a bunch of vegetables from my garden, and we just cut that up, threw it in there, and it's like a highly nutritious, like nutrient dense, like lovely bowl of soup. And you're getting so many wonderful things from bone broth. Not only does it help to improve your digestive system and convey better immune function, but it also has you're pulling all of those connective tissue and calcium and collagen into the broth that are fantastic to help with any joint inflammation and pain, and throw anything in it. We threw our vegetables in it, and but you can throw other things in it. It doesn't matter as long as you're drinking it. Yeah.
Again, I need to come over and have your husband cook for me too.
I'll make it. I'll put it in a jar and leave it at the door.
Right? Just come out and grab it at the door. So
Right.
yeah, and I also want to let the viewers know that we're going to be giving you a bone broth recipe, and we're going to be giving you notes or a resource where you can get to these notes at the end of this, and letting you know how you can get that. So if you're feverishly writing things down, sit back and relax, and you'll have that resource at the end.
Absolutely. So there's a lot of talk about probiotics and whether or not that is also helpful for your digestive system. And yes, microbial, like having the right microbes in the right balance is super important for gut health as well. We want to talk about not so much probiotics today, but prebiotics and foods that have a lot of probiotics in it that can help to, again, support your digestive system. And one of those things, like some of those foods are kimchi, or a lot of the fermented foods, right? So kimchi, sauerkraut, miso, tempeh, things like that. So those are some things that you can make yourself. You can stock up on, and that have their own, that can convey their own uh, like their own probiotics into your system without really taking a like high dose probiotic. There are certain people who definitely, certain patients who are definitely needing of those probiotics. However, there's also other patients where probiotics are definitely not helpful and actually can be detrimental to them. So you really have to be careful about that, and make sure that if you are taking anything like that, you need to check it with your physician before taking or starting any new supplement and or medication. So, okay, so that's the first part about what to put in your body. Second part is about how to move your body. So exercise and movement, and how important that is, again, in building your immune system. So there are overall, like, there's so many papers referencing like exercise physiology, and how it helps to maintain and build your immune system. So we're going to share a couple things that we each do at home in to maybe give you some fresh ideas on how you can also do some home exercises and get in the recommended minimum of 30 minutes a day. And it's not a lot, and you don't have to do 30 minutes all at once. You can break it apart, 10 minutes at a time or 15 minutes at a time. But getting up to 30 minutes would be the ideal minimum. And let's start with Dr. Jainuddin. I know you have quite a routine in the morning, so you could talk about that.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Fung. So yes, what I like to say, movement. I feel exercise for me, even though my first career I was a trained dancer, and dance was my life. Exercise feels like a chore, and I don't like to make it a chore. So I think about movement, and movement I think also really takes us away from the constraints we think that we have to have with exercise. Like it needs to be in a gym. It needs to be, we have this moment where we're setting aside a half an hour, it's like we have to organize our life around it, which can be overwhelming and hard for us to really take that initial step. So really think about it as bringing in moments of movement into your day. It doesn't have to be huge. So for me personally, I like to do my movement routine first thing in the morning, right when I wake up, before I have a chance to second guess it, or I can stop those thoughts right away because I'm like, oh, this bed's real comfortable. I could just sleep a little longer, or all the excuses that we come up with. So for me personally, I like to just knock it out first thing in the morning. And then while I'm going about my day, I don't feel like I have this activity or thing that I still have to get done on my to-do list. It's just done, it's out of the way. So, and I think it's a really great way to start your day, really getting the circulation going, waking up the body. So first thing in the morning, I do right now, daily, I'm able to do an hour of movement. Sometimes, that isn't the case, but right now with the schedule being a little bit more flexible, I'm able to do it daily. So I'm thankful for that. But, if 3 times a week at least. And then I usually try to switch it up from going on the treadmill. Literally, I walk. I'm not a runner. I've ran in the past. I think it hurts my knees. So I just do a really quick pace walk for an hour. Sometimes I'll, do side things and walk backwards, slow it down, try to mix it up a little bit and get my muscles, confused, because muscle confusion is a good part of movement routine. And then other things that I do are I will YouTube search yoga routine, 60-minute yoga workout, 60-minute yoga for flexibility, 60-minute yoga. You can put in all these little variables and tags on it to get exactly what you want. You can do 15-minute, you can do 10-minute. And then also I like to do some light strength training. And I can mix and match these up. It doesn't have to be a full hour on the treadmill. I can do a half an hour on the treadmill and then 30 minutes of yoga, or vice versa, just so it's movement, honestly, and not try to get down on myself about what I am or am not doing. Like, is this movement more intense than yesterday? I can't kind of make myself feel guilty. I'm moving, and that's the point. I don't want to add to that. So I just move. And then also, if you want to, when you're Googling or YouTube searching, you can do shorter, like 5-10 minute HIIT programs, or kind of those ones that kind of go intensely, then break, then go intense and break. It's that HIIT routine. And you can do a lot of movement in a short amount of time and really get that circulation going. So that's another idea as well. Or sometimes I YouTube search like 60-minute dance workouts, since I have my previous life as a dancer, or 30-minute hip hop workout, or, you're really just throw in there what you're in the mood for, and you can find it. So use technology to your advantage.
Absolutely. And thank you for that. And I am not a huge exercise lover. I am quite an introvert. This is a really crazy thing for me to do right now on video. So
Me too, girl. I feel you.
that's why we are tag teaming this. Two introverts together. So I keep my routine very simple. We have a pull-up bar. We have a hangboard. Hangboard is like a finger exercise hand board um, uh, for climbers. I do enjoy climbing when I can. Um, I also have free weights, and I have a long hallway in my house. So what I do is I just do um, walking lunges, and I can do 10 walking lunges from one end to the other. So I just go back and forth like 3 times, and that's 30 lunges, and I'm good. If I wanted to do, like switch it up and do like side lunges or things like that, you can always do that too. Um, I am not super strong. I have a pull-up strap to help me do pull-ups, and that's okay too. It's all good. It everyone has their own level. Like my husband can do one-handed pull-ups. Good for him. Like I'm not gonna be there. I might, but highly doubt that I'm gonna be at that point. But that's okay. I do pull-ups with a strap. So it's all good. And you work at your level and your pace. And that's the great thing about doing things at home. You're not in a gym, you're not looking at anybody else, and you really don't have anything to prove except for to yourself. Okay, so one other really cool thing that I want to mention about doing, at home programs is there are a ton of local uh, gyms and or yoga instructors that are doing free like Zoom or free video like daily yoga sessions, or they have apps to do workouts and all of those things. And just a shout out to our local peeps. We're going to have that resource also available to you. I'll rattle them off really quick right now. My friend Shay from Namaste with Shay, they do, her and her daughter are yoga instructors, and they are doing a 60-minute yoga session every single day. Go to her Facebook page for schedules. Bronwyn is, she is, let me see, what is her? Evolve Yoga. She also does Zoom yoga classes as well, and she has free YouTube workouts. And then Jerry and Casey from Fit and 42, they have an awesome app that you can download for free and get some classes as well. So again, those will be in our resources page. All right, exercise. Next thing we wanted to talk about is meditation. And so many ways that you can meditate. And it doesn't have to be like the, lotus pose om, meditation is just quieting your mind and like focusing your mind on something other than like the news or the situation that you might be, anxious about. Just trying to, it is super important, and it's a daily practice. And it could be so many different things. I said earlier, it could be prayer. It could be doing devotionals. It could be just basically getting out of your own head, And there's, again, a lot of resources online that do free meditation classes or visualization videos and things like that. So again, we'll put those resources on our list. And I know Dr. Jainuddin also uses some apps too that are really cool.
Right. Yeah, meditation I also have found very challenging. And that's another reason why I actually enjoy yoga, is that I feel like when my body is engaged and I can think about those things, that I can let my mind relax. So for me, yoga is kind of how I can meditate or get to that point where I can allow my mind to settle, because I'm kind of engaging my thought process into something actually. So it's still a challenge for me. I do also have training in biofeedback, so I'm very much interested in mind-body medicine. And there are a couple apps. I'll give you one for if you have an iPhone. It's called Breathe Plus. And then if you have an Android, there's a free app called Calm. So both of these are free apps. Feel free to download them and browse around. They have different types of meditation. They have different paced breathing exercises. And paced breathing has been shown to not only reduce anxiety and help alleviate that stress, but it's also been shown to boost the immune system. So these things are very powerful. That's why we're bringing them and we're talking about them to you. They're not just, just to mention. There is research on this stuff. So, and if you feel like those apps maybe aren't speaking to you, browse around. And you definitely can upgrade in those apps if you want to spend the money for it. There may be some other free apps since I have been made aware of these are ones that we actually would recommend to patients when I was doing my biofeedback training. So these are very great apps to look into and start with.
Definitely. Awesome. Thank you. A couple of things to think about for meditation is really, again, how do I de-stress my brain? That's what I think of meditation as. And one of the ways that I love to de-stress my brain with is reading fun books. So not medical journals, not, articles, articles online. I know. Hey, some people do that, I guess. Just not me. Well, not before bed. So, yeah, so I really enjoy I like whatever free book. Like I like novels. I like one of my favorite books is Pride and Prejudice, and I love reading Pride and Prejudice variations. So, and a lot of that is free, or if you have Kindle Unlimited on Amazon, or they're just a few bucks, whatever. You're like, spend it on yourself. It's less than a coffee, and it's hours of enjoyment. So I do enjoy that. Or, Dr. Jainuddin earlier mentioned listening to music.
An album all the way through. Remember when albums are supposed to be listened to beginning to end and really you got into them? Now you have the time to do that. Like throw on an album you haven't listened to for a long time and you really enjoyed and listen to it in its entirety. Just really enjoy that. Music is so therapeutic too.
Absolutely. Yeah, remember when we didn't have MP3s? I had cassettes, okay?
I have 8 tracks, girl. I'm little.
Oh.
Although I don't think I was at the age where I really listened to an 8-track beginning to end and enjoyed it like I would as an adult.
Yeah, no, I was mostly a cassette girl. So, all right. So, the next really important piece of keeping and maintaining your immune system is sleep, and getting like at least 8 hours, or ideally 8 hours of deep, restful, healing sleep. And one of the main things that is important in helping to achieve that is sleep hygiene. So I know you have a list of sleep hygiene suggestions, Dr. Jainuddin. So you want to run through those really quick?
Sure. Sleep hygiene is not taking a shower and washing your hands before going to bed, although that's kind of what it sounds like. Sleep hygiene are some things that you can do to set yourself up for best possible night of sleep. So first of all, I'm going to run through these real quick. Shutting off your electronics an hour before bedtime, really getting that out of your zone and your interaction. And you can also go onto your phone and put a blue light filter setting on your phone in your settings. So get that blue light filter on. Blue light keeps us awake. It gets us engaged. It keep, and that's why that's another part of shutting off electronics an hour before you're going to bed. You need to disengage with that blue light. Avoid exercising later in the day. Some people can find it very invigorating, and so that will also keep them up. Again, unless you're doing like maybe more of a relaxation, like meditative yoga, that can actually bring, calm you down.
I'm not a morning person, and I typically do my workouts later in the day, and I have no problem sleeping. So it actually helps me. It helps me calm down. So
Exactly.
it just really depends on you.
Exactly.
And some people, it wakes them up, and that's
Mm-hmm.
cool. Do it in the morning. But
Yeah.
if it helps to work out all the nervous energy in your system, that's so you can
Exactly.
go to bed. Yeah,
Yes.
that'll be me.
Exactly. And that's why I was saying for some, it's invigorating. Yeah. So definitely get to know your body and what works for you. If you're having problems falling asleep, am I working out later in the day? You be your own investigator. Also, B vitamins can give you energy. So if you're taking B vitamins, supplementing with those, take those earlier in the day, just in general, make that a habit to do that before noon. And then another idea is having a warm cup of tea, nothing with caffeine. You can do some herbal teas, really bringing it in, cozying up, letting the system calm down. Also removing any unnecessary electronics in the bedroom. I know for me, like I don't have a TV in my bedroom. I really try to keep all of that away from my safe haven of sleep. Sleep is like honestly my favorite thing in the world. I love my sleep. And in that aspect, you can shut your phone off and get just, the little alarm clocks, the old school alarm clocks that plug into the wall or have batteries. Like I have one of those. And just shut the phone off if you have to. Right now, a lot of people don't need alarms. If you're staying at home, um, you'll just wake up with your own circadian rhythm, and maybe you don't need to have that alarm set on your phone. So another reason why you shouldn't have it right next to your head while you're sleeping. Make sure that the room is dark, and make sure keep the temperature a little bit cooler. I run cold, so I like it pretty warm. They say to keep it cooler, but man, I'm like one of those that has to have the weighted blanket. I have like a ton of blankets on me. And then also another idea that I learned from a Chinese medical practitioner many years ago was to help settle the mind if you're having a lot of racing thoughts at night and you just can't settle in and calm down, to do like a hot foot bath. I mean, obviously not hot enough to hurt yourself, but as warm as you can handle foot bath for about 20 minutes before going to bed. And I've actually found that very, very effective when I've gotten to the point where like I just can't fall asleep. And so that's another idea to put into place. So just kind of go through that list if you're having problems falling asleep or having problems staying asleep throughout the night, and see if there's anything in there that maybe you could change.
Yep. And to add on to the alarm, I still need an alarm to get up because
Yes, we know you're not a morning person.
I think there's a pattern here. So what I typically do is just to reduce a lot of the Wi-Fi and other things like that are flying around in your house and in the room. We typically try to shut down the Wi-Fi at night, and then I would put my phone on airplane mode. So airplane mode still allows your phone to be on, and it still allows it stops all of the cell and Wi-Fi communication, while still allowing you, if you don't have an old school alarm, to use your phone alarm. So that's another way that we can do that too. All right, so our last but very important piece of maintaining your immune system and reducing stress at home, or from home, is to really stay connected with your friends and family. And I know that at this time with our pause, a lot of people are just enjoying being around their family again, enjoying the time that they are allowed to have with their family, and with technology today, I mean, we're able to do webcasts, we're able to do everything that we need on our phone. So, um, so take advantage of that. And most people are, obviously. So, one of the ways that I'm keeping in touch with my family is, and here's a little bright story uh, to end our, or tie up our, or I guess like tie into our webcast, is that this past weekend I just became a new auntie. Yay! So my brother and sister-in-law had their first baby boy, and because California's on lockdown, well, not lockdowns, I guess stay-at-home shelter-in-place orders. I'm not able to, unfortunately, go to see them physically. But what we did was we had a family, we used Google Hangouts with our whole family, and we were able to connect with a, like probably 6 of us across the country. So from New York to Portland to San Diego, and to La Quinta, where we're located, and the Bay Area. And we're able to see through the chat and the video the new baby. So it was really wonderful to connect with my family that way, and we were all able to celebrate with my brother and sister-in-law with their new little one, and see how beautiful he is. And it was just a really like a like bright, joyful, loving time to see my family and make sure that everyone's okay, and to really celebrate this wonderful time of a new life. And um, I'm sure a lot of people have had similar experiences. So if you want to write your happy experiences, and the way that you connect with your family, down in chat, in the chat box, or message us your happy stories, that would be fantastic for us too, to be able to share that with you. Okay, so
I think that also speaks
yeah.
back to the trying to limit the news that we're watching too, and balancing that. You talking about sharing positive stories with us, definitely trying to balance the attention that we are giving to the media right now. Obviously, we want to know what's going on. We want to stay connected with the world, but honestly, from a day-to-day basis, not a ton changes. You can really, try to move to, okay, I'm going to give this much time to catching up with news per day, and allow yourself that time frame to do that effectively and efficiently. And then, allocate the rest of your time to doing these other things for your life, to stay healthy and balanced, and in positive mental health, and sharing positive stories like Dr. Fung was suggesting, really like promoting the positivity and beauty of life that's still there amongst all this kind of craziness going on right now.
Definitely. And just to add to that, getting out into nature and enjoying the sun and on your face, and being able to walk around, like I know with our busy schedule at clinic, when we were still fully like open face to face, and seeing patients face to face, like oftentimes we're stuck in the office the whole time. But now we're able to do awesome things like nature walks. And Dr. Jainuddin just did a fantastic Southwest like herb walk video in our in Live Well Clinic IGTV. and talking about ocotillo and the medicinal properties of ocotillo. And there's going to be more herb spotlights, local herb spotlights coming soon. But check that out. And if you have a great suggestion about like a local herb that you want to find out more about, or medicinal properties of that herb or plant, just let us know again in the comments and in the chats, and we can definitely accommodate. So, all right, I think that's everything that we wanted to talk about today, and I thank you for your attention and time. And we will be putting all of this into a resource page again for our newsletter subscribers and our patients. And one of the ways that if you're not already on that list, to subscribe to that list is you can text to subscribe. So you can text Live Well Clinic, all caps, all in one word, to the number 22828. That's 22828. And you will automatically be put on our newsletter, or you can go to our website at www.livewellclinic.org. And on the bottom of our website, there is a subscribe to our newsletter section, so you can fill in your info and click subscribe, and be part of our and receive our resources that we're going to be sending out. So I hope you enjoyed our talk today. We will be doing a few more throughout the week, and if you have any comments or suggestions for topics, we will definitely be open to them. Put them in the chat, and just want to thank you, and keep safe and stay healthy at this time. All right, have a great rest of the day. Thank you.